Good morning. How is everyone? So good to have you with us today. My name is Michael Brooks, and I am your substitute minister for today. So I'm understanding that we need to restart. So here is planting seeds.
I've been planting seeds on the ground, watering them with my sweat and tears, scattering them all around. Guess it's what I'm supposed to do with my years. Funny thing is, I may know what I've planted, but never what will show. It always seems to be a perfect mystery. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. Sometimes I still like to pretend I know what the harvest will be, but I always find out in the end it was never really up to me. Funny thing is, when I just do my work and simply trust, always seems that life is looking out for me. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing more. I am only one of billions of seeds. When all is said and done, I just do what's mine to do and let it be. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, planting seeds. I am planting seeds, nothing more.
Good morning. Are you planting seeds this morning? It's a beautiful day to be planting some seeds, and it's a beautiful day to be with Unity of Lexington. Welcome to the broadcast of today's service, and we hope you're all out there enjoying yourself. And if not, come and enjoy yourself with us. We're going to take a minute or two and do a little meditation and prayer. So I'm going to invite you to sit down comfortably, put your feet flat on the floor, take a few deep breaths, and know that you're welcome here, regardless of where you are on your spiritual path. We welcome you here at Unity of Lexington, and we want you to know that we're happy you're with us today. So take a few deep breaths again, and we're going to enter into the silence with the sound of our singing bowl. God, I invite the Holy Spirit to take charge of my journey to prosperity. I let go of all that has gone before, and I now begin anew. I am free and forgiven for all the mistakes I have made in the past. I open myself now to expressing a brand new magnificence. I open myself to the infinite possibilities that are mine to choose. I open myself to receiving all the goodness I can have and all the greatness I can achieve. I invite the Holy Spirit to heal my body, to harmonize my emotions, to renew my mind, to fill me now with the mighty faith that empowers me and allows me to commit to be all that I came here to be. And so it is. Take a deep breath and let it out. Bring into your conscious state these ideas that you are forgiven for anything that you might have done in the past that you see as a mistake or an error, and that you allow divine purpose to come into your life. That you will reach out and set some goals, and that you will be abundant by giving abundantly. For it is in forgiveness that we are forgiven. Why then would it not be that we give and receive on the same level? When we give, we also receive. And when we receive, we also give. So now allow your next breath to be a little deeper. And as you return to this consciousness of giving and receiving and prosperity and abundance, come back to this now moment. So how many of you remember Star Trek? In particularly, Spock. And Spock would say, "Live long and prosper." What a great greeting. Or even at the end of any conversation, "Live long and prosper." You know, the very essence of that speaks to me anyway about having health, because you have to have health to live long. And when he says to prosper, prosper is something that seems to me to have some intricacies in it. To prosper is not only to have abundance in your life, but includes abundance, but to have the essence of prospering. Like Daniel Namod was saying in his song, we are planting seeds. We plant seeds with our thoughts and our actions. And when we plant those seeds and they come up as we tend to the garden of our mind, those seeds flourish. That's prosperity. I often say that, um, you know, abundance is what you have. Prosperity is what you're willing to give. And prosperity for me is the understanding that everything that I choose to respond to in my life brings me to a greater awareness of actually why I'm here on this planet. So if you haven't asked yourself recently, what is it that we can do to become more abundant, more prosperous, not just for the sake of having more money or more things, but for the sake of growing our civilization as human beings on this planet? And in doing so, we grow. We become more in tune with the vibrational energy of this thing we call God. So I ask you this. If you've ever read the book Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, it looks like this, and it was written by a woman named Edwene Gaines. And she tells some very good stories in it and talks about how she came from rags to riches. And I say that that can be your story too, if you are willing to engage in some experimentation. See, my spirituality, I like a little practicality with my spirituality. I like to be able to see it working in my life. And if you're that type, or if that's your temperament as well, I have some good news. We've got four spiritual laws, according to Edwene Gaines, that we can implement into our lives and watch them grow just like we do a garden. We can see it happening. Now, there's a fine line between having an abundant garden and getting our hands dirty and allowing ourselves to be part of the soil and doing too much. Here's what I mean. If you are planting a garden, let's say it's a vegetable garden, and you're planting broccoli, don't expect spinach to come up, because we have to plant the seeds for broccoli or for spinach, not randomly do both, but to plant seeds that are intended to grow into the vegetable that we desire. The other piece to that is once we plant the seeds and fertilize the soil and water the seeds and make sure there's sunlight, we have to let go. We can't be digging around in there every 2 or 3 days to see if the seeds have sprouted. We have to take a step back and let it happen. Let it take its normal routine that nature has in order to grow the plants that are there. So, interestingly enough, when we do that, it seems to work out just fine. When we get too much of our hands into the mix, we oftentimes disrupt the cycle and we either get nothing or an inferior product. So, along those lines, I want to tell you a little bit about a story that I heard a long time ago that I really connected with, and it is in regards to why should we give money to whoever asks. And it's about having some discernment, thinking about where shall I invest the energy of money into my life. So I'm going to take this garden analogy again and take you way back into the early civilization of mankind. And it didn't take mankind a very long time to figure out that if he ate all of the produce that he had, all of the vegetables and the fruits, and didn't save any to turn to seed, he would run out very quickly in a very few years of what would be growing up voluntarily. He had to set a purpose for each of the plantings that he made. And so each year, at the end of the harvest, he would set aside 10% of the harvest in order for that 10% to go to seed, in order for the next spring to plant them and have a good quality product. Well, it didn't take mankind very long to figure out that if he just took the weakest and the least of the seeds that were produced by the least of the produce that he had made, he would get a slightly less quality in the product. So, what happened then is mankind realized that if he took the best fruits, the best vegetables to go to seed, the following year he had a better crop. Well, I think that's true for us. I think whatever we give to wherever we want to grow the most, it takes some dedication, it takes some commitment, it takes some setting of goals, and an idea of a divine purpose. When we come here to Unity of Lexington, we are looking for spiritual growth, no? Spiritual growth requires spiritual fertilization. So, what if you spent some of your time, talent, and treasure in growing a garden of spiritual growth for yourself? So I ask, can you find a way to get more involved without turning things upside down, without getting your hands too deep into the soil, but with still being willing to water and nurture and fertilize the thoughts and seeds that you are planting in your spiritual growth? Maybe you could find a place to be of service. Where can you help out? What can you do to further the spiritual growth of your spiritual community? It may be something simple. It may be helping out on a particular Sunday. It might be giving yourself permission to do a little clerical work or whatever else that might be needed. And one of the things that seems to be, especially today, what's needed a lot is your financial support. Why should I give of my finances for spiritual growth? Well, it's fertilizer. And there is a joy in helping your spiritual center become more active in the community, to become more active in your life. And in doing so, you're helping programs come into your life that otherwise might not be there. I know that your minister works hard putting together a talk for Sundays, for doing prayer requests and lists, which, by the way, are available to you in the Facebook page and in the website. If you ever need to reach out, that's there for you. But all of those things require a little bit of investment of time, talent, and treasure. And I think it is at this time when we've gone through the first quarter of the new year to come to the understanding that if I'm going to plant seeds, what am I going to plant? If my seed planting revolves around a financial support, how will I do that? Well, according to Edwin Gaines, there are four ways that we can achieve that and one of them is to forgive yourself for anything that you've ever done that you didn't think was a good choice. That's like planting the wrong vegetable. You know, if you if you're like me, I like most vegetables, but there are a few I just don't care for, like okra. Can't handle that. However, if I plant the seeds for okra and I get okra, I shouldn't be surprised. You hear me? If you can't, uh, if you're planting seeds and there's something that you would really like to have in abundance, then you're going to plant more of that. So if you are a carrot eater, you're going to plant lots of carrot seeds, right? That way you'll have what you're asked for, what you want from your garden of life. So forgiving yourself for planting okra might be a way of saying maybe you were unable to help out in certain ways. Let's find another way, a way that helps, the way that works for you. The other thing that we want to do is be purposeful in our planting, in our giving, and in our receiving. You know, a lot of people in our society today want to tell you what you should accept and what you should not. Tell you how you should act or how you should not. And I think that what's important is that we should decide, not someone else for us. And so when we find our divine purpose, when we create a goal for ourselves, how far will we reach? How far will we go? So I have a friend in Arizona who was part of the congregation I served there. And he was a very successful guy. He had a beautiful home on a big, beautiful piece of property. And I point these people out in my talks because not only do I know them personally, but these are real stories. These are stories of real people that have real experiences. And I asked Jeff, I said, how did you come to the idea of tithing? And he said to me that first it was kind of an experiment. He was struggling financially and really needed to create more income for his family. And someone had given him the idea that if he were to create room in his life for more, the divine would bring it forth and present more to him. And so, not quite having the experience yet, he decided to give it a try. So, he got rid of all the clutter in his life. He decided to create a business that would give him an additional stream of income, and he decided that he would set some realistic goals, and he would do this for the betterment of the people in his community. Well, that went along pretty well until he came to the place where, once again, he felt that he needed to find out bigger ways of making this law of abundance work for him. And he began to give to the center in which we were both part of as a tithe, as a monthly tithe. And I asked him how he came to that. And he said, I can't afford not to tithe. You see, all of his wealth and all of his good luck came from being willing to risk and step out of his comfort zone to try something new, to give a little bit more and to take a little bit less. And sure enough, he became more and more abundant, more wealthy, more prosperous. When bad things came into his life, he knew exactly how to handle them. He knew how to invite the Spirit of the divine into the situation. So, along those four spiritual laws, Edwin talks to us about what's important. Having, having a strong, vibrant body that we house our divine nature in. How important it is to have a vital body. So keep yourself in good health. Eliminate the clutter of junk foods. Eliminate the laziness that might cause you to hold back on doing some exercise. Start slow. Take a nice long walk. Do a little stretching. Keep your body in good shape so that you can live long. Have a occupation in your life or an avocation in your life that you really enjoy. Let it be more play than it is work. And what about having relationships that work? Relationships that work all the time. What a glorious way to live life when you can get up and say, I get to, instead of I have to. I get to go to work today. I get to do my volunteer job today. I get to interact with people who might challenge me today. What a wonderful way to look at life is I get to instead of I got to. All of that brings us forward to money and abundance. You see, the first three things that are important to achieve, one is that healthy body so you can live long. Two is that relationship with your occupation that makes it more fun than it is work. Three is to enjoy other relationships in your life, not just the ones that you have to, but those that might challenge you. And four is to become abundant in yourself as a stream of income. Watch, if you will take the time each day to set up your radar, to watch and to invite abundance to come into your life, you'll see it begin to happen. If you look for it, it will happen. If you set your goals for it, it will happen. And the neat thing about it is that the easiest one of those things to prove to yourself is the one about monetary abundance. In the Bible reference to Malachi, he says, I'll paraphrase, bring what you have to the storehouse so that you might have all that you need. And I will open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that you will be more than you can have, more than you can handle, so much that you'll be able to share it with others. So do me a favor. Make a commitment to yourself for the next, let's say, 4 weeks. Let's take it to the end of May to see if you can give just a little bit more. Now, some of you might say, well, I'm on a fixed income. I can't give a little bit more. Then let me ask you this. If that's the case, then would you be willing to give to your financial choice, to give to your, let's say we're going to do the Unity of Lexington. We're going to give to the Unity of Lexington everything that comes into my life that I didn't expect, like unexpected income. Would you be willing to give that? Would you be willing to, when something shows up on your doorstep that you didn't expect, when something comes in the mail that you didn't expect, would you be willing to do that? Would you commit to 30 days or however many days there are from now to the end of May to give a little bit more, take a little bit less, help out your spiritual community, and help yourself in the process? It's pretty cool to have a win-win situation. All right. Some of the most wonderful, loving, kind, and generous people are those who are willing to try something new, those who are willing to stretch. And if not for forever, just give it a try for this month. Let's see if you can't find a way, like my friend Jeff, to a place where you would say, I can't afford not to give or not to tithe. And I think you'll find that your life is either benefits from this practice, and at least it won't be harmed by this practice. So it's like yoga. You get to a place in your stretching where any more would be too much and any less would not be enough. Find that sweet spot, that place where the feeling of this stretch that you're doing feels good but doesn't hurt and is a little bit more of a stretch than where you were at before. You know, when I first started to stretch, I could barely touch my knees when I bend over. And then I kept doing it, and before you know it, I could touch my legs below the knee. And then I could almost touch my ankles, and then the tops of my feet. And now I can touch the floor. Why? Because I give myself permission to stretch. Give yourself a permission to stretch. See what you can find in your heart and in your mind to become more than you thought you could be. So remember the 4 spiritual laws. Start with forgiveness. Forgive yourself for anything you haven't done or anything that you did improperly. Right? Give yourself a purpose and let it be a divine purpose. Also, set some goals. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be stuck stretching to your knees for the rest of your life, or are you willing to touch the floor? And give a little bit more. Try, after finding that purpose to create, stretch a little farther. The purpose is to be healthy. The purpose is to be happy. The purpose is to be joyful. The purpose is to be wealthy. They're not bad things. They're all good things. All right. Give yourself some time. There you have it. Give to yourself, give to others. You'll find you're a happier person. And if not, you can always stop it. Right? All right. I hope that you got something out of this today. I know I did, just preparing it for you. And I have comment here, just a little thought that if you do need prayer support through this, please connect with Reverend Carol. She will help you through it. If you want to find the donate buttons that are available to you, please take a look at the Facebook page, find that donate button, or in your website, Unity of Lexington, and find that donate button. Remember, those are usually in org. Okay, and maybe down the road we'll meet again, and you can tell me what a great experience it was to find those 4 spiritual laws working in your life all the time. So I attest to the idea that there is more than enough. And so to work with you, to leave you today with a song titled just that, More Than Enough.
enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough. There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let the world know the truth, whatever we choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough. Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let the world know the truth, whatever we choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough, more than enough, more than enough.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and that all is well. Have a great week.